Have you ever tried to create D&D characters that would be far off their classical race-class combo? Well, I have, and that can easily turn into a painfully frustrating experience. Luckily, that's about to change, as OneD&DCharacterOrigins seems eager to get rid of 4 terrible race mechanics that would make character building a total nightmare. So, here's the story of Sapley Glitterjam, the gnome barbarian, or Sapley the Brief, since he never came to be. He suffered of death by farming.
We would say, my character decides to go be a farmer. And we called it death by farming.
I was really excited about Sapley's backstory. He was meant to be Sapley the Savage, a heroic forest gnome barbarian known for spying on his enemies with the help of his pet squirrel before ambushing them with the assistance of illusions. Rangers are for children. I wanted a gnome barbarian who would silently hunt down his prey to then attack savagely and recklessly. If it sounds like a cool idea, that's because you haven't tried to build it. Let's start with ability scores increases. Forest gnomes get +2 for intelligence and +1 for dexterity, 2 not so useful abilities for a barbarian, who would mainly rely on strength and constitution. But it gets worse. As gnomes are of small size, Sapley would not be able to wield any one-handed melee weapon with damage superior to 1d8. To finish it off, gnomes have a speed of 25 feet, a clumsy limitation for who's supposed to be the party's tank and take the first line. Bottom line, Sapley never took an adventure live and has rather become known for his outstanding mushroom cultures in the woods close to Shadowdale. But it's just like they say, you're never too old to start a new career, especially if you live up to 500 years. OneD&DCharacterOrigins is about to do away with 4 clumsy race mechanics, and you might still one day hear of Sapley's heroic deeds. The first major change is that now ability score increases are associated with backgrounds rather than race. Backgrounds may be freely customized by players now that they are streamlined to have the same number of traits. 2 skill proficiencies, 1 tool proficiency, 1 feat, and 1 language, as well as the ability scores increases that may be either 1 + 2 and 1 + 1, or 3 + 1s. Here's what's great about those changes to me. Now that all that is under the background umbrella, players need to tie those traits choice with their characters' backstories. There are 18 sample backgrounds for quick character building or simple customization, but they should above all serve as examples and by no means limit our character building creativity. OneD&DCharacterOrigins also get rid of all things that could relate to race penalties. So, another important change is that dwarves, halflings, and gnomes no longer move a reduced speed of 25 feet. Rather, all core races' base speed will now be 30 feet. It not only lifts an important restraint for those races carried for combat, which would be particularly important for some classes, but it also makes sense. After all, a smaller size could make difference on a 100-meter sprint race, for instance, but not in other situations. In my opinion, combat movement is much more associated with agility rather than size, just like travel movement is more associated with stamina, as the core rules themselves already specify. OneD&DCharacterOrigins has not changed the rules that penalizes small creatures who try to wield weapons with a heavy property. Nevertheless, there are clear hints that these mechanics will also be changed. Players can now choose their humans, earthlings, or tiefling characters to be of medium or small size. And you would need to be very committed with role-playing to freely choose a race trait that would give your character a penalty with no offset benefit. I firmly believe that over the next OneD&Drules publications, weapons with the heavy property will now penalize characters not according to their size, but according to their strength ability score, just like it's already done with heavy armors. Last but not least, Drules of the known worlds, fear the sunlight no more. That's right, no more of the awful sunlight sensitivity penalty, which has made every player that has ever considered playing a Drule think twice on how much frustration could one feel during random encounters in the wilderness, rolling every single attack with disadvantage. This race trait is gone, I don't see it coming back, and all I have to say is good riddance. OneD&D is getting rid of all these 4 terrible race mechanics. Ability score increase associated with races, speed, and heavy weapon penalties for small characters, and sunlight sensitivity penalties for Drules. Now, you will be able to build all those wacky, larger-than-life original characters that you've always wanted to build, and 5e rules wouldn't let you, or at least not without taking penalties for your choice. And you know what you should do to celebrate? You should build Riza, the Orc Bard, so that in the future she may sing the heroic deeds of Sepli, the savage forest gnome, for the entire known world.